Hi guys, welcome to my studio. I'm Amber Rust with Two Color Photography, and this is the brick room of my gorgeous studio, and we are obviously celebrating Christmas. Has nothing to do with what we're talking about today, but isn't it so pretty? Okay, our video today, I'm super excited about. I love to spend money, However, I don't love to spend money on things that I can do by myself at home or that I can DIY or I can have a little hack. So I've collected all of my hacks. I picked 10 of my hacks and I'm going to share them with you today. Some of them are DIY, some of them are things that I bought that are just fraction of the cost of some of the things like the posing things that you can buy online. And when I say fraction of the cost, there was a meme that had like when a car insurance guy says, I'll give you a quote and I can save you a fraction of what you're paying now. And then at the bottom it was like, yeah, but the fraction is 5/3. Okay, number one, I'm gonna save this to the very end. So not number one. Number one, okay, my favorite, probably for a newborn, when the baby's got the binky and it drops on the floor and you're already just, you're trying to rock the baby, or maybe you've just got the baby on the beanbag, you can't walk away and go wash the binky. Mom probably doesn't have 17 binkies in a bag. Pacifier wipes from Walmart. These are incredible. They're kind of hiding, they're tucked down by the binkies and the bottle tops. They are no harsh chemicals. They gently clean pacifiers, bottles, cups, and teethers. Food grade ingredients, non-toxic, on the go clean. So baby drops the binky, you open up the package just like a wipe. Pull out a little wipe, wipe off the baby's binky, throw the wipe away, put the binky in the baby's mouth. It smells like fruit. I held it up like, you smell it. It's delicious. It smells like fruit. So binky wipes, pacifier wipes, amazing, incredible. One trick I've learned is that this doesn't seem to keep them moist as long as they should. So I take this bag and I put this bag inside of a Ziploc and I seal the Ziploc so it keeps them wet longer. There's nothing more frustrating than dropping a binky and opening up my bag of pacifier wipes, and my pacifier wipes have dried out. They're like $2.47. They're really not a lot of money. So there's a fun hack. Another cheap hack, all of the little textures and layers that we have in the studio tend to leave off a lot of fluff and frill and frizz, and instead of picking it all off, just a lint brush roller, roll your backdrop fabric, roll your wraps, roll your sweater, rip it off, throw it away. No clue how much this cost. Walmart, probably $100, probably $1, I don't know. So that's my second hack. These are pillow forms that I have cut. You can buy them in a big sheet. I bought them, they were like patio chair size. They were fairly large. And I cut them to fit the different shapes that I need. So I use this shape when I'm doing the froggy pose, so it's more gradual. So the gradual side goes into the baby, so I'm not asking them to, lean their elbows up so high, so it kind of tucks underneath all of my posing fabrics. Baby's elbow sits right in here, gives them a little bit of support. It's soft and it kind of squishes more to fit the height that they need depending on how much they weigh. I also have one that I cut to fit inside my baskets. When I prop up my baskets, I just set this one on top, wrap the fabrics around it, and it's nice and soft, gives the baby a nice ledge to sit on. One thing I've thought about doing is going in and maybe shaving off a little bit so it can sit right on the lip of the bucket. That might be something I add. So these are pillow forms or mattress forms, like if you're going to make your own patio furniture. If you're more talented than I am and you make your own pillows for your patio furniture, or I don't know, I don't. That's one of the things I buy. So these cool little foams, they're really soft, really inexpensive. I don't even know, I couldn't even tell you. I've had them for so long, I'm not even sure how much they cost, but Walmart or Michael's or Joann's, Hobby Lobby, anywhere that sells craft supplies. The thing that I probably use the very most in my beanbag poses, instead of buying the expensive posers, I buy quilt batting. It's soft, it's customizable, it gets peed on, I throw it away. It's inexpensive, you can buy a big roll of it, but I just fold it, slide it underneath my posing fabric. I can add another layer, I can fold it in half, I can tuck it wherever I feel like I need a little bit extra height for the baby to get the baby to look the right way. A whole roll I probably haven't bought probably once a year because it comes in a huge roll. You can get like the queen size quilt batting or smaller. I always get the big one. It lasts me forever. I don't feel bad about throwing it away if it gets soiled. I just throw it in the garbage. It's cheap enough. And then I'm not, the posers that you can buy, I actually do have a set in the studio that we rent out to other photographers. I just don't like that they're not as customizable. I like that I can make these as tall or as small. I can rip something in half and layer it. I prefer these over the expensive posers. Draft blockers. You set them at the base of your door. They also happen to be almost the exact same diameter that you would want inside a bucket or maybe underneath your flocati. You put baby's bottom right in there. I usually will take the rope on this one. I don't know if they all have ropes, but this one I've had for a long time. And put it in the bucket and it's just the right height. The one downside that I'm not a huge fan of is the edges are really squared off. So it is sometimes a struggle to get it so that I can't see those squared edges. But I love this for filling my baskets. Baby's bum sits right in there, gives them a little pillow. I can add some of my padding under there. So these are draft blockers just at Walmart. And I think I bought this, ironic that it's Christmas, because I think I bought it probably at clearance, probably 3 or 4 or 5 Christmases ago. Then this is my newest discovery, and I'm gonna bring my stand-in baby up here. And we're gonna show you, this is life-changing for wrapping. Stand-in baby is not an inexpensive hack. Stand-in baby is an expensiver hack. These are cast clips, like those soft cast that they use to wrap your arm, broken arm or whatever. So we're gonna wrap this baby really quickly. This has been life-changing. I used it yesterday for the first time. I saw it in a group online, bought them, kept forgetting to bring them to the studio. They were sat in my house for a while. Finally remembered yesterday to bring them just in time for a twin newborn session with 2 older brothers, ages 6 and almost 4, to be able to hold the baby without also worrying about holding the fabric in place for a little boy or little anybody, 6, 3, 30, a dad, mom, whatever. So you wrap the baby. Okay, so when you get to that last layer on your wrap, you take these little cast clips So I've got that clipped right there, and I could add another clip now to hold the back of the wrap up. We had about 3 clips on yesterday just to keep the wrap in place. And they're behind the baby so that it's not going to show. And then you can hand anybody the baby, preferably not by the baby's neck. But I just want to show, like, if the wraps aren't coming off. The little clips are keeping the wrap together. So if you've got a tiny little brother who's trying to hold the baby and he doesn't, it's hard enough for them to know how to support the baby's head without having to worry about making sure the wrap isn't coming unwrapped. Cast clips, like $2 or $3. These are just flour sack towels from the kitchen section at Walmart. These are great for layering in your buckets to build your bucket level up. Probably actually gonna keep it long-wise, move my socks out of the way, and wrap it, or roll it, excuse me, fairly tight. To put inside your bucket. So because of the magic of television, our bucket magically appeared. I'm gonna take the one thing that we talked about, the draft blocker, I'm gonna put it at the bottom of the bucket to just start us off, and then this can stack around the top here. I'm gonna get it closer. And it just brings up your layers a little bit higher. Pull up another one. So it just brings it up, and then I would probably do one more layer just to bring it up a little bit, and it keeps it soft right here on the baby. Or this is the point where I can bring this in here as well, and then cover that with the wrap. So it just kind of helps to have a little bit of thin layers to be able to increase or decrease the layer of your bucket if you need. And then it also works great if there's a little piddle in the studio, if baby pees on stuff and you've got some towels you can clean up with. But the benefit of this is when, let's grab our stand-in baby again, except she's wrapped up with cast clips. So when I put her in there, her weight is going to push that top layer down. Kind of like this. So that we're covering the not pretty part of the wrap. And then as we put baby in there, curling their legs up, hands up on top like these, hand under their chin like that. So you can choose to have this kind of hang like this, or you can kind of even tuck it back around, back inside the back of the bucket and have just one side layer. You can have no sides showing. There's how I would stuff my bucket. We found this out by accident when we were filming the baby in the hot cocoa cup. Remember that? If you haven't seen it, search it up on our YouTube video or on our YouTube channel. As a matter of fact, there's still some milk in there. We have not used this yet on another baby. We will not be using the milky one. This was just from my kids' sandbox. They're now very, very old and they don't need a sandbox. So we stole sand from their sandbox. It's a great weight. Like, this is one of my probably least stable props when I usually put a sitter in here, like a 6-monther or a 1-year-old, and when they lean forward, it has a tendency to tip forward. And we couldn't figure out what to use in it that wouldn't show with a 1-year-old, so we just put a fine layer of sand in there. I'm gonna open up this and add a little more sand, and then we just put a white towel over the top of the sand. And so baby is sitting on a white towel, and it forms to their bottoms. So they're not sitting on the hard, cold tub. So just some sand, they can sit in it and it will just kind of form to their little bottoms, so it gives them a little more support. We keep their diaper on in this usually, so I wouldn't want them to go home with sand in their crevices. Some of those babies are so chunky, they would have sand in their little leg rolls for days. So we keep them in their diaper. They can sit in there. It's now very heavy. I can also keep it in a Ziploc, and I could put that on the bottom of any of my buckets, flatten it out a little bit so I wouldn't use this much, and form it around the bottom of my bucket and have a lot more stable and soft. I usually just put weights at the bottom, but they're not the exact diameter of my buckets, so there's sometimes a lip or they don't fit right. This will fill from edge to edge on my bucket. It adds so much weight, and it's a lot more comfortable than a weight. Like, I'm really excited to give this a try. It worked pretty good for our baby in the hot cocoa cup as far as forming around his body, putting some weight in there so that the cup was stable. So that's my new hack. Always looking for new hacks. This cost me $0 because I just skyped it from my kids' sandbox. This is my other favorite thing for hanging all of my outfits on. It's just a curtain rod from Walmart, but these are the killer for me. These little pinch clamps, I can be one-handed and take an outfit off just by pinching these little clamps. So it's just a curtain rod from Walmart, one of the cheaper ones. With the little clamps, I think they came in a bag of 24, and we just bought probably every one they had, and then every time I need more. And then you can stretch out your curtain rod as you get more outfits, or keep it small for stability. Just make sure when you're hanging this on your wall to, if possible, attach, like screw into your wall where there's a stud, because all of these outfits do kind of start to get heavy, and as you're pinching and tugging, you don't want to rip it out of your wall. Your husband does not appreciate that. I speak from experience, so find a stud and make sure it's stable. And this last one is another form of like the draft blocker, a basket filler, a little more rounded than what our basket filler or than our draft blocker was. So I take a bag of rice, from the Walmart. We live in a very small town, so our options for swinging by and grabbing things is just Walmart. I'm gonna take this off. So the reason I rubber banded them is to make it larger. I can rubber band 2 together and that would fit and they stretch. But I think I want them rubber banded together before I fill them with rice, because I think it'll be harder to fill them with rice and then try to find an edge where I can rubber band them. So I'm gonna keep them like this. We're probably going to make a mess. Let me find cup. Just fill your sock up with rice. I found the biggest sock I could find, or I bought the biggest sock I can find. Once I empty the rice enough, I'm just gonna funnel the rice bag and put it in there. You can see they're pretty full, but they're still, like, I love this. They're still moldable, so you can put baby's head around them. You can bend them around the buckets. And the benefit here is they're already kind of shaped like a circle, so it's not as hard to get it formed. Once they're full, I'm just gonna put another rubber band. The benefit of the rubber band versus sewing it shut is I can add more rice to it or take rice out. And if I had a bigger bowl that I needed, I could just fill a third sock, depending on the bowl. Sometimes with twins or triplets, you actually have a bigger bowl and need a bigger form. So that is my hack, my 10th hack. If I got everything, there are 10 hacks that I use that are more inexpensive. They make my newborn sessions flow faster. One thing that, as we go back to the sock for a minute, that Erin, we should introduce you to, our videographer, my partner slash team member slash audio slash behind the scenes, mentioned is you could probably pop these in the microwave for a little bit and warm them up and have some heat in the bucket. Just make sure you put some layers over it so that the baby's head is not directly against the heat. But I think that's a great idea. Sometimes the babies wake up because they've been on my heated beanbag, and then we move them into a bucket and it's so startlingly different, the heat of the beanbag versus the heat on the in the bucket. So that would be a great idea, is to pop these in the microwave. So 10 hacks makes my job easier, faster, cheaper, more customizable for each of my sessions, and they keep the baby asleep longer maybe. World peace. Please subscribe to our channel. Click the bell so that you receive notifications when we add new videos, and we will talk to you later. Have a great Christmas. Bye.